Russell Martin, according to Sportsnet stats, you are the second catcher behind Gene Tennis to crank 80 home runs in both the National League and the American League, which is quite an accomplishment thanks to your 18th home run of this season. What do you think are some of the differences in hitting in the junior and in the senior circuit?
The junior and senior circuit?
You haven't heard that in a while, right?
No, I haven't. I mean, who do you guys have digging up all this stuff? I mean,
we got you.
Hey,
That's quite an accomplishment, Russell.
I don't know. I don't really know if there's a difference between, the only difference is there's no DH.
Right.
Well,
they say the National League is more a fastball league, and the American League more off-speed breaking ball league. Do you see those kind of differences?
Yeah, I feel like in the American League you can get pitched a little bit tougher at times.
Right.
Less giving in a little bit. Like depending on the count, I guess you can say that you're getting pitched a little bit tougher. And the National League guys might be a little bit more aggressive. But there's really not that big a difference for me. The game of baseball is the game of baseball. Okay. You got to see the ball, you got to hit the ball. It's kind of how it works.
You've made a career out of getting the most out of your pitching staffs. I mean, everybody knows that about you. When they're not, as a whole, Russ, when they're not performing the way they can be or have been throughout the season, what do you do? I mean, strategically, psychologically, is there something you do to help this group regroup?
The key is to stay in the moment. Not really concern yourself with, okay, what hasn't been working or, what I don't need to do. You stay positive. Okay, what works well for me? What do I need to do right here? How do we get this win today? How do I make this pitch right here? And so instead of, when things aren't going well, you always think about what you haven't been able to do. Instead of focusing on okay, I need to try and get this done. So that's the mentality right now. And it's the same thing for the whole team. We haven't been playing great, but that's, we shouldn't even be talking about that because we have a game today. We should be focusing on how do we get this win today. So I think that's just a mentality to, whether you're on a high or on a low, make sure that your attitude's the same. And for me, it's simple. Today we have to win today. Let's do whatever we can today. Prepare for today, type thing.
In September, rosters expand. So when you're back there, you're dealing and catching with a lot of different players, a lot of different types of arms. What are the challenges of game calling when you've got guys coming up in September? And I mean, yesterday you were catching 6, 7 different guys. What's the challenges for you, Russ?
Yeah. It's more of a comfort thing. Whenever you have somebody that you haven't really caught on the mound is always a bit tougher. You don't really know what the movement on the fastball is. You don't know the tightness of the breaking ball. But after catching somebody for a couple times or just, seeing one pitch, let's say one fastball from somebody or one slider, then it gives you an idea. You can kind of calm yourself a little bit. In September, it's about matchups. It's about you have that much more depth, so it just gives the manager that much more room to play matchups and stuff, and that's how September is. Every situation is a big situation. If you feel like you have an edge, somewhere, you're going to try and make a move to help your team win, and that's what, especially when you're playing close games too. So hopefully we can win some blowouts and not have to worry about all that kind of stuff and just crush some people.
I talked to Bo Schultz. And I said, I understand you're kind of working with a splitter. And he said, well, Pete Walker had suggested it a couple months ago. And he told me that he wasn't, it's a work in progress. So when you're catching someone like Bo Schultz and he's working on a splitty in September in a tight pennant race, is this the time where you kind of play around with it? Or what do you do there?
This depending on the situation. Okay. You get in a one-run game, and I have both Schultz in the mound, and have a lefty up or something. Right. It's not going to be the time to just try something new. He throws 96, 97 miles an hour with sink, and he's got a good cutter. I pick and choose my times when to use something when somebody's just trying to figure something out.
Okay. Troy Tulowitzki, I want to ask you about some of his mound visits. He's really taken a leadership role. What type of information is he suggesting to you and or the pitcher on the mound?
Tula's got a great feel for the game. He's just a great overall ball player. He's got a great mind, great baseball mind. Sometimes I think he just goes out there just to give the guy a little bit of a blow. Sometimes I feel like if he's feeling something or seeing something from shortstop, you might tell him, hey, this guy's been diving, or this guy looks like he's got a quick hip right now and might not want to go in on him. Or if he's diving, you might want to bust this guy in a little bit. Or this guy looks like he's on the fastball. I'm not really quite sure what he says all the time, but that's probably the type of things that he's telling him.
Before I let you go, I noticed that your walk-up song is "Courage" by the Tragically Hip. I know a lot of walk-up songs for guys have some type of meaning for them. Why pick that one?
I've always liked the Hip. I think they're great music. Unfortunately, I think the lead singer is, he's not doing too well right now. So I just felt like it was, something cool I could do. I think the fans appreciate it. And it kind of brings back memories of back when I played with baseball or Team Canada. The guys used to blast it after games, before the games, and it just has a real Canadian feel to it. And I felt like it'd be, a nice flavor to add.
All right, Russell Martin, not like Canada could love you even more, but have the Hip as your walk-up song. Way to go. So we send it back to you, Jamie.